I want you to think of your favorite part of Torah. For those who aren't always asking yourself that question, what's the matter with you? Let's review. 5 books of Torah, 5 books of Moses. The first one is what? Great, Genesis. What happens in Genesis? How does it start? Creation story, 7 days. God creates the world. In fact, there are 2 creation narratives. There's one of the 7 days. What's the other one? Good, Adam and Eve. Great, that happens a little bit later. What else happens? Good, Noah, this great big flood. God's going to destroy this world, take 2 creatures of every species, that's the word, put them on this ark. Great, what happens next? What's that? Lots of begats, right? Noah begot. Good. We skip the Garden of Eden, right? That's always a favorite. Walking through the garden, the tree of knowledge, eating the prohibited fruit. Good. Noah, what happens next? Okay, Abraham, good. We got a couple educators in the room. What's that? We're fast forwarding, right? So we get the Tower of Babel, where they want to speak the same language, but they don't. They reach the heaven Tower of Babel, and then Abraham is married to who? Sarah, wonderful, and they have children. Who are they? Isaac and... So Ishmael, okay, is one of those characters we remember. Good. We're still going through the PJ library, the children's books, right? You're thinking of where we are in the story. So we have Abraham and Sarah and Isaac and Rebekah, and they have children. Jacob, good. Okay, and Esau. We said Ishmael. We need to say Esau. Good. Jacob is married to... Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Yeah, right? We're all doing that in our head. Yeah, right, exactly. Good. So we go through our patriarchs and our matriarchs. We're still going. Who's born after Jacob? Joseph, right? Okay, good. Awesome. So Jacob has 13 children. We know the 12 sons. It's important to remember Dinah. Dinah is Jacob's daughter, an important person in our history. What happens to Joseph? Good, we all saw this, right? So I'm looking at our theater folks here. So Joseph goes down to Egypt. He becomes second in command to Pharaoh. A whole bunch of stuff happens there. And how does the book of Genesis end? Well, Joseph dies, right? And then we begin the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus, the very first line is, a king arose that didn't know Joseph. Tell us what happens in Egypt? Slavery, right? So many years of slavery, the pyramids, someone named Moses, his brother Aaron, their sister Miriam, step into this picture, and what do? Great, they free the Israelites. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. They cross the Sea of Reeds and they go on to the Promised Land. Nice. We're not there yet. Good.
It's right in Exodus 15, right?
Okay,
there.
that was good. That was good.
Do you want it later too?
Yes, actually I do. Okay, good. They get into the wilderness. What's that? Oh, golden calf. Great, that comes next. They march to Sinai. Moses goes atop the mountain. He's up there way too long. And so the people, they grow impatient. They construct this golden calf. Good, what happens next? Don't build a golden calf, build. Right, Moses sees these people dancing around the golden calf. His brother Aaron is leading the pack, and he slams the tablets against the mountain. We'll get a second set of tablets so that we can actually hold on to them this time. And they move forward, and they are to build not a golden calf, but a tabernacle, a place for God to dwell among them. That's Exodus. Look, you know more than you thought, right, when we started. What happens in Leviticus? Great, hold that thought. In the words of a senior colleague of mine, Genesis is easy to love. It's soaring narratives, it's rich poetics. the family dramas whose lessons are as old as they are new. Exodus tells of the tales of the beginning of our people. It retains much of the beauty of Genesis and includes all of the drama of the journey from slavery to freedom, our foundational story that we rehearse in just a couple weeks, sitting around the Passover Seder table. However, he continues, very little happens in Leviticus. The whole book takes place in 1 month, the first month of the second year of the Exodus, and it all occurs at or right around Mount Sinai. The few narrative elements are fragmentary, and even those are usually provided simply for the explanation of a particular custom or law. Therefore, reflects scholar Everett Fox, a frequently encountered reaction to Leviticus is the desire to get on to the book of Numbers, which at least has some intriguing narratives, rather than that litany of laws. You all said it, Leviticus. Ugh. That litany about purity, diet, dress, and sacrifice. You can imagine the reactions of B'nai Mitzvah students the first time they sit down with one of our rabbis or Cantor Goldstein to read a translation of their Leviticus Torah portion. Some of you were in that seat. Some of you are the parents or grandparents of that B'nai Mitzvah. It's nice to meet you. Let's talk about circumcision or menstruation or leprosy or ritual sacrifice or any of the other, what my teacher, Rabbi Larry Hoffman, refers to as the creepy crawlies in Jewish tradition. It's for that reason and others that a few of my teachers in rabbinical school, when they were students, their professors encouraged them to skip over the book, rather than to trudge through what on the surface is a text that many of us find irrelevant, boring, and even a little bit gross. As one progressive rabbi reflects, my sense is that for most Reform Jews, reading the third book of Torah, Leviticus, is more a function of calendar than choice. Something we have to do, as Everett Fox suggests, to get on to the book of Numbers that follows. However, you could see me driving to this point. I'm calling my sermon this week that we begin when we begin reading the book of Leviticus in our scroll, Finding Meaning in Leviticus, a defense of the book, and a reminder to all of us, me included, of the wisdom we can glean this year if only we were open to it. After all, taught Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory, Leviticus is perhaps the key text in Judaism. It's here that we read for the first time the command to love your neighbor as yourself. It's the source of the even greater moral principle, you shall love the stranger as yourself, for you were strangers in Egypt. It's Leviticus that forbids us to take vengeance or bear a grudge, taking a stand against the psychopathology of hatred and violence. Then Sachs offers what I think is his greatest teaching, and it's found here in his commentary on Leviticus. He writes, Leviticus contains one of the most remarkable of all religious ideas, that we are summoned to be holy because God is holy. Not only are we created in God's image, we are called on to act in God's ways. It's in this book that Torah invites us into partnership with God and each other in the ongoing work of repair and renewal. We are powerful. Our actions matter, and we must change the world. The father of the Musar movement taught, our world is a world of transformation. When we are improving and refining ourselves, we are in concert with the divine plan. fulfilling the purpose for existing in this world. Not only is the human being created for this purpose, but we are also given the ability and capacity to attain this supreme goal. But of course, doing this soul work is hard. It takes courage, strength, and awareness to pull ourselves out of default mode and awaken from the regular hum of daily living, to see that divine spark that shines in each of us, to see the miracles that unfold, those that are tiny and those that are really large, all around us, all the time. Rabbi Shefa Gold, the composer of the Ozi V'Zimrat Yah that we sing.
Ozi v'zimrat Yah.
We talked about this before.
Vayili lishua. God is my strength and my song. God will be my salvation.
Well, Rabbi Gold offers us a much-needed reminder of the power of our deeds to change ourselves and the world. She writes, "So often the complications of life seem to draw us away from the perspectives of holiness. We become alienated, distracted, complacent, blind to what is essential, deaf to the music at the core of silence, numb to the mystery that dwells at the heart of this life. The medicine that Leviticus gives us for the dis-ease of our alienation from God and ourselves is described in the language of korbanot, the list of those sacrifices for which Leviticus is known. Literally, korbanot means bringing ourselves nearer again to God. It's in our deeds, taught Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, that human beings become aware of what life really is, of our power to harm, to hurt, to wreck, and to ruin, likewise of our ability to derive joy, to bestow it upon others. This is the domain of Leviticus. It calls to us, a narrative we begin this Shabbat and will trudge through, unpacking all that it offers, its lofty lessons, and even a bit of ickiness for the next 8 weeks. At its core is the reminder to walk in God's ways of mercy, of justice, and of love. As we traditionally say at the conclusion of a book of Torah, I'll remind us here at the beginning of this difficult book of Leviticus, Chazak v'nit chazek, may we find strength in this text and be strengthened by our trudging through it. Shabbat Shalom.